Welcome back to the Wanks FPL podcast. It has been a hot minute without FPL, but we're back. We're here to talk. It feels like, we got a ton of respite, and then all of a sudden it's like, got hit by a fucking train. Let's talk chip strategy the rest of the season. But, gents, how are we doing?
Thriving, happy to be back. Good to see you guys. Glad we can talk in person rather than talking shit over the phone and be a little more civil about it. So that's fun.
I had a rough time logging in here and adjusting my rank. It went up again. It was a needed respite for me. I can't. I'm sure y'all don't feel the same, but I definitely needed a quick fix to get out of there, get some time off, stop thinking about my horrible team.
I was pretty done when the break came around for the same reason, just because Spurs have been just like right off the back of that was 3-0 by Nottingham Forest into the international break. And I was like, okay, I got 3 weeks to think about this. This is gonna be great.
This is true.
I feel like I went on a pilgrimage, watched a lot of basketball. Right, journeyed to different sports, faraway lands, watched Champions League, the Bundesliga a little bit. Basically anything I could do to not think about the Prem or fantasy, and I'm coming back feeling quite good. And then I was also really thinking about it, like when FPL Twitter woke up, I was like, you know what? I've already used my wild card. There is no pressure on this week for me. Unlike
this
you guys,
is true.
I'm not getting just like the whiplash of having to come back hard. So I'm chilling. Pretty good.
This is true. But there also isn't anything to get your hopes back up like a wild card. There isn't anything to make you think that you have a shot than getting all new players and then just getting let down immediately after.
Get let down with my current set of players.
Right. Exactly.
I was gonna say, what tweets did I see today? It's like, do you want Ekatike's 2-pointer with good fixtures, or do you want DCL's 2-pointer? Like those are the questions
that was so funny.
Yeah,
it's so accurate though.
I wonder if like a 3-week international break is just going to throw something spicy in the mix. Like people are resting. They're not really resting. A lot of people were getting called up, I guess. But
I was gonna say, I feel like the people you want are probably practicing or doing something with their international teams.
It's true. The thing is, though, like normally international breaks just don't matter at all, but they were kind of fire because of the World Cup coming up this summer. Like people are trying to play their way into the squads. Like it's the last opportunity. So I feel like we might get some form just randomly from some people.
That'd be kind of cool. But just because, fuck it, Italy. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I think what is that, 3 in a row or something? Like that's
tough.
Brutal.
But we were also talking about like some FPL relevant stuff that's happened over the break before we came on here. One being that I guess Enzo Fernandez mouthed off enough to get removed from the Chelsea squad, which is honestly particularly relevant when we start talking about potential like wild card options. And then Sharp was talking about how Isak has made his way back into the Liverpool squad and has got back to fitness. So that's obviously a big change. I feel like there was and then Gabriel decided to be out for the rest of the year and then came back. If that had happened, that would have thrown a real spanner in things. Arsenal obviously getting upset in the FA Cup was like a big change, and that has trickle down effects into what we're going to talk about with ongoing chip strategy. But if Gabriel was out, that would have been a real pandemonium moment, I think.
I was kind of like never going to wish ill on an individual player or person. However,
I'll do it for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, thank you. For the sake of the wild card to be like for a reason for holding it, I was like, like that's going to be someone that everyone has to transfer out, but I get to wild card and get him out and Saliba or whoever else in, like one up. And it's like, no, just back to it's not that big of a difference maker.
Yeah. The only other thing Premier League relevant, but not necessarily FPL relevant, is where are you guys at on this title race? City's got a game in hand. They're down 9. Seems like by the day it's getting slimmer and slimmer that they make that up, but it's definitely still doable. And I think they play each other in a couple of weeks, right? So it's not out of the question. I think we're all three in the same camp of we really are rooting for Arsenal to just fumble it on the goal line. But
oh yeah,
we are not
embarrassing way possible.
You're not on that page, sure?
Wait, you want Arsenal to win?
He's been silent about this all season.
He hasn't been on Twitter in the last month. He forgets them.
That's true. I did like we're closer to nuclear war, the closer that Arsenal gets to winning the title. So, maybe that's fair.
So true.
But no, I mean, I will say I'm biased since my dad is an Arsenal fan, that I would just like to, I'll give that to him. But also, would I rather Arsenal versus oil money City, like I'll take Arsenal. It's fine. It's not the worst case in the world.
I would if it was any other club. If you guys had decided to step up this year after buying half the free agency, maybe it could be you. But unfortunately, I got to go oil money on this one.
Yeah,
that's another thing. It's been a rough time for Liverpool. Obviously, we're coming off a Champions League loss for them as well.
I don't even. It was as much as I'm shitting on Slot for saying he's like okay with it being only 2-0. I'm like, yeah, I expected it to be worse too. Fair. Like I have no confidence in anything they're doing.
Look on the bright side. This morning you said it'll be 5-0 and it was only 2-0. So,
dude, the XG was 2.2 to 0.18.
It's crazy.
How did we get 0.1? I'm not sure.
Yeah, yikes. Tough times, but it is like looking at the table is really interesting right now too. Like Manchester United just out of the blue is in third. I feel like that came out of absolutely fucking nowhere. Aston Villa is still hanging on despite some pretty poor form, and then Liverpool and Chelsea have had some pretty mixed results over the last few to keep them in check. But
it's like
what a weird year.
That fifth Champions League spot, but nobody wants it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it really does look like outside of even Arsenal. I really just don't think there's like a team in the Prem this year that you're like, wow, what a dominant squad. Like Arsenal have looked really human as of late. City have taken a long time to get going, but they are looking a lot better. And then some of these everybody from there is just a Jekyll and Hyde. Like you have no idea what team you're getting any given day. So what a weird fucking year. But
I think it's super interesting. And I think that impacts FPL too, just because so many of those mid-table guys are like, there's people off those teams that you do want that have played really well. And like any given week, the attackers could do well, or it could be clean sheet central. So like, do you want the defenders off them? So I think it's made it more interesting or maybe more luck based perhaps in the FPL world. But I also think it's super interesting. Someone who is new to the soccer world, and everyone talks about how the Premier League is the best league and everything like that. And it's like, it certainly feels like it's the most balanced league from top to bottom, but like, you're still looking at your PSGs, your Bayerns, or apparently Atletico Madrid. I don't know where that came from, but those top clubs are still the ones in the Champions League that are like the actual ones to beat, and it's not the Prem clubs.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. I feel like the best league is sort of like has lost emphasis on the league portion recently, and like used to be like best league because, as you said, it's top to bottom, like quality. Like Spurs can have an off year and get relegated, which is, unthinkable for Bayern to have like an off year and get relegated, right?
Yeah.
Or like Real Madrid.
This narrative so, conveniently makes it seem like, oh, well, we're just in such an amazing league. That's why we're getting relegated. I just love that.
No. What I was going to follow it up with saying though, is like to Sharp's point, like watching Bayern Munich play Real Madrid yesterday was like a freeing experience, not watching like set piece ball. I was like, all right, we talk a lot about this being the best league, but I have not been enjoying it this season necessarily.
Yeah, for sure. No, the parity has been awesome in the sense of, and it's made FPL certainly more difficult and more fun in that sense of like, there's just more opportunity, but agreed. It's gotten harder and harder to watch throughout the season for me of like, it was exciting, to be back and be invested in it. But even early on, we were complaining about like, what the fuck is going on? Where are the goals coming from? And then they've started to ramp up a little, but we're just in that set piece FC. So that's my motivation for wanting City to win. That is really more so just that, like, I fucking hate watching Arsenal. Like games where I have a Saka or I have a triple captain Gabriel, like watching those games makes me want to spoon my eyes out. So I really hope that a team like City, who's at least a little bit more direct, gets rewarded. But
yeah, I agree with that from a moral standpoint because I'm a Spurs fan, but also on like a, like you're saying, a watching perspective. You alluded to earlier, like, is the title race still on? We never really answered that question. As much as I think it was fun to watch Arsenal get kicked out of the FA Cup, I think this, unfortunately, less games is a boon at this point in the season, and more focus on the Champions League and specifically the Prem for them is probably like better for their FPL assets. So they looked human recently, as you said, but I think that it's going to be real tough for City to come back with so few games.
I mean, they are still in the Champions League, though. That'll certainly impact things, especially if they get to the next stage and are playing really meaningful games there.
Not only that, I think Mac's point's totally valid, but like they didn't come back with like a resounding answer to losing. They beat Sporting 1-0. Like, Great, nice. So you haven't changed anything. You're still just going to be
8
like
total shots.
outlast them, Bull. Like it's it's tough.
It's high efficiency, like I'm not like defending them. I don't agree with it either, but a win's a win.
It's winning. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
fair.
The winning strategy is always the sexy one. All right, I feel like that's enough like soccer talk outside of the FPL context.
On a soccer podcast.
Yeah, on a soccer podcast. Let's get more specifically into the FPL stuff. First, we can start with our ranks. Really rough week for me, as you can see by that tick up in the blue there. Relatively gray arrows, it looks like, for both of you guys. Sharp, you're knocking on the door of that 100K again. Mac, you've definitely made up some ground in that sense. I'm just living up in the stratosphere up there otherwise, though.
Yeah, I mean, when you say gray arrow, my rank changed 200. I went from 117 and 6 something, and now I'm 117 and 4. So like,
nice. Green arrow.
Last week did not matter to me.
I was plus 11K similarly, same boat.
Yeah. I think I took a pretty resounding kick to the sack, so I'll have to review why exactly that was, because we
don't remember.
I probably rage deleted the FPL app or something. So looking in the mini, things are getting dire. Yeah, look at that. Did you guys have the exact same amount of points then?
Horizontal lines.
Yeah, we were both 58 last week.
Yeah. So one of us is in a banana, as you can see. We can briefly go through that. We had some low performers this quarter from this group. It's literally, dude, look at this team. Holy fuck. The only returners are Bruno and Wilson.
Brother.
Ekatike got injured after like 5 minutes. I transferred in Chow. He gets a 0. I remember.
I forgot about that.
Something about that.
I'm just remembering all of this for the first time. Like
Hill with the -1. Was that an own goal?
My
I think
God.
I was watching that game. I think it was an own goal.
It was.
Yeah,
I was begging you guys to get Gordon last week.
I couldn't. I actually couldn't. I didn't have the funds to do it. Otherwise, I actually would have. I remember this. I was like really trying to do it. To be fair, in hindsight, the only way I could have done it was by selling Bumo, but they were playing somebody's shit. So technically I could have done it, but I couldn't get like Wilson or Enzo or anything up to him. But I do remember that.
You're excused. Sharp.
Wait, I also have an excuse. It was that I didn't think that week would matter, and it turned out it didn't matter.
It's true. You know what? Fair point.
Mac, you want to touch on yours real quick?
Yeah. Pretty similar lineup. Brentford blanked, and I was like, oh dang. But they that was so good.
Shout out to you for Danny Welbeck.
The Danny Welbeck pick.
That's the craziest. Like, I don't know if I should be rewarded for that one. Happy I did. But if you recall the context, you probably don't because it was 5 weeks ago at this point. I took a hit for him in 31.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Wait, so, the best part about that was like, you didn't need to. Like, you didn't play him the week that you took it.
There was no reason to do that. So I took a hit, didn't play him, didn't get rewarded for it, play him this week. And now also with the way that the blanks and the doubles have fallen, I have him for Burnley and double 33. So wrong math, right answer, I guess. Let's go.
Who were they? Yeah, I was going to say, weren't they playing like Liverpool or someone too? That's the funny part, is like he had on paper a relatively tough fixture and yeah, did the damn thing. So yeah, good stuff. Let's go to Sharps.
That's so funny.
I feel like the fact the wrong math, right answer, the fact that we're all, if you look at our ranks, that it makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, hold on. What are we doing here?
Sorry, this one.
Yeah, there we go. Nice. No, you had me questioning if I actually put it in. I was like, oh no. Yeah, Hill killed me. If we rewind to my mindset before this, thank God there was an international break, because I would have done some bad things if there were more game weeks consistently after this, because I was like, let's have fun. Let's have a good time. I don't care. And that's how Harry Wilson got captained, which ended up not killing me as much as I thought it was after the United
No, it wasn't
game.
bad.
Thank God.
I texted you guys this to reinterject. Harry Wilson, he wasn't someone I could get into last week, or I would have had to rip the team up for it. I was like, this sucks. He's definitely one of the best players with the best fixture this week. And he scored. And if he just blanked like I needed him to, I would have been at 185K. And I was like, what we lost with that.
Yeah, thank God. Kelleher actually was a great play there. And the funny part was like talking about the fuck it strategy was Casemiro. That's why I brought in instead of Gordon, which obviously dumb choice. However, I felt like I talked about him so much this year that I was like, I got to bring him in for 1 week at least. And thankfully didn't kill me in the total. But if I had Gordon, I would be sitting much prettier. That's for sure.
All right, so we just played a fun little game of I Told You So.
Yes, we did.
Moving right along.
It was fun.
Moving right along, let's just jump really briefly into, well, I suppose, I don't know. Maybe we don't need to do our bus teams after that, but just kind of a review of where we're all at before we talk about the upcoming doubles and blanks and whatnot. Mac has already used his wild card. Sharp and I still have those wild cards in hand, and all three of us have already used our triple captaincy. So that part doesn't really need to factor in for us, but I think as we go forward, I'm curious to hear your overarching strategy, Mac, and maybe we can start there. But Sharp and I are basically trying to decide whether or not to push the wild card button this week or to do some sort of a differential strategy and get away from that. So in case you didn't know, and this is your first podcast of trying to figure this out, which I'd be shocked, you have a bunch of doubles.
For some of us, it is.
Yeah, exactly. You have double game weeks that have now been confirmed in 33. Those same teams that are doubling in 33 are blanking in 34. There are almost certainly going to be some doubles in 36, and maybe very, very small chance of those getting thrown into 37 if they don't go in 36, but almost very, very, very likely to be 36. So that's relevant. We think about when we're going to wildcard and when we're going to bench boost. And it's really the latter that kind of has a lot of this decision making. What I was alluding to earlier, maybe this was before we hit record, was that it really comes down to, in that sense, how you value the bench boost. Is it something that's worth planning around to the utmost extent, or would you rather kind of make the changes to your team, now and make the adjustments there? So I think that's like high level where some of the strategy stuff comes in. It sounds like prevailing strategies that I've seen thrown out there into the ether from people so far are wild card 32, bench boost 33, and free hit 34. We've got free hit 33, wild card 35, bench boost 36, and then the most alternative strategy, I suppose, wild card 33, free hit 34, bench boost 35. So a lot of that has to do with whether your team is in a good spot for either 32, 34, or both of those. And that can drive a lot of kind of the decision making of what strategy makes the most sense for you. But all that said, curious, Mac, for somebody who doesn't have the wild card in hand, where does this put you now that everything's kind of landed? And tell us as well how many free transfers you have at the moment.
Yeah. This is going to be a really good test of if we get to play more I Told You So at the end of the year or not, because my wild card thus far has been wildly successful. I was sitting right around 800K. I launched it in 24, and I've just been kind of shooting up ever since. It's been pretty great. This is theoretically though where I'll lose tempo as a result of doing that, so it's kind of a defensive game. That means my strategy is probably just target what other people are targeting and just accept that I'll have less of them. And then I'll have some differentials built in by nature. Because what you're gaining right now, if you haven't used your chips, is flexibility to have the maximum upside for all of these doubles. You can have when you wildcard in 32, you can have the best bench boost in 33, which is pretty great. I'm scared shitless for the next 3 weeks, not gonna lie. But I really on the off chance that this inconsistent year continues to be inconsistent and that the guys I don't have don't go off for hat tricks, which, happened with Joe Pedro a couple weeks ago. It's not unheard of. But I'm just going to target the highlighted teams, right? A lot of Man City, just try to get that double game week 33 and then double game week 36. Crystal Palace is someone who I will try to save enough transfers to get in 36 because they have a double, right? And that's just generally going to be the strategy. Lock in a couple guys who I don't really need to transfer out for the rest of the season. So my available free transfers can just be used to attack the important games. And then once we're through 36, once I basically only have to launch my bench boost. So once I've done that, then it's just going to be like aggressively doing transfers to maximize the 1 week upside.
Yeah.
That's pretty it.
Sorry, so bench boost 33 then is kind of what you're targeting?
It depends on how it pans out. I don't really have like a bench full of doublers with my current team. So I need to look ahead to see if there's just like a more optimal week with better matchups, right? Like if I'm not going to bench boost with a bench full of doubles, then I'm not locked into doing it in 33.
Yeah. Well, and looking at your team now, I'm trying to cross-reference that with people that are doubling. I think the only doublers are Welbeck and Senesi from this group. Is that right?
City guys.
City guys.
I have a lot of.
Sorry. So yeah, 2 City guys. So you're basically your whole bench and
Dubrovka as well, actually.
Dubrovka benches.
Yeah.
Or yeah, he boosts. So and like it's not the worst week to bench boost with some of the matchups, but I just have to confirm it's not the best. There's a high chance I rip it as a defensive play in 33 and just call it a day.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Nice.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, honestly, at the time, even I think I wanted to. Well, I was also upset at how my team performed the week previous, and I was like, I'm gonna wild card with him. I'm gonna rip it, but I obviously didn't, and I have been jealous of your wild card ever since. I think you played an attacking game, and it paid off pretty well for you. And we'll find out more, obviously, over the next 3 or 4 weeks here. But I think you made the right choice for your team. So I think it was a great move.
If nothing else, like if this causes me to plummet in rank in the next couple weeks, I'll be salty, 1, but 2, at least I felt confident in the move at the time, and that's really all you can ask for. So
yeah, and at the end of the day, it's a game, and it made the game more fun, I think, for you. So take that into consideration.
No, that's definitely true. I've had a good time because I wildcarded.
Yeah, and I think the way the chips fell with Arsenal losing in the FA Cup made that alternative strategy even better because now Arsenal isn't doubling in this 33 and blanking in 34, so that just makes that a little bit less valuable, and makes the wild card 32 therefore a little bit less valuable. So yeah, I mean, also definitely one of those things where I remember at the time, just your team needed it, and it was the right play for yourself, but it has definitely paid off in a good way. So yeah, obviously we're counting our chickens before they've hatched in that sense, but yeah, I do think that you're in a pretty good spot on paper right now.
You're gonna make me blush. Like we gotta move on to you.
Can I make a cat to, I think it was the alternative strategy? Just a question here for you.
I think have the same question, and I need to do some reviewing. Why would you bench boost 35 as opposed to 36?
That made no sense to me. You rattled that off, and I was like, why is this a strategy?
Yeah. So clearly
unless the matchups across, because yes, you're only going to get, I mean, City, you're going to start anyway, so no point in a bench boost probably. Palace, honestly, if they're playing, you might start them anyway too, depending on the assets that you have there. So maybe it doesn't matter a lot. I'd have to look closer at the rest of these. Arsenal, you're going to start, and they have West Ham.
Burnley, you would start Leeds versus Burnley, Chelsea versus Forest, Villa versus Spurs. Like some games, but they're not outstanding.
It may just be that if you're let's figure this out on the spot, right? It may just be that the players that you're getting, like everyone who's highlighted in yellow there, right, who doubles in 33, that they have such good fixtures in that week. I'm seeing Leeds and Burnley playing each other. Everton, Palace, and Forest are relatively good fixtures. Whereas,
but Leeds have Tottenham. No offense to Tottenham, not bad. Chelsea's going to score against Liverpool in 36 too, right? I hear you. That's fair.
What it allows you to do is attack the 33 double with 11 players and stack Arsenal players on the bench to have the freedom for transfers for 36 and 37. And I think that's what it gets, because if you look at the Arsenal, because they no longer double in 33, where they become important is the 36, 37, 38 run, or 35 included when they play Fulham. That's probably one of the better runs for the rest of the season in terms of single game assets.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And that's definitely something to note when you're if you're looking at that 32, 33, 34 strategy, is you're likely going to separate from a lot of Arsenal assets. So, talking through, because that is most likely going to be the most popular strategy. Let's talk through that one really quickly. the way to really attack that, if you want to be ultra aggressive and like really commit to that strategy and say, hey, I want to make the most gains I can on somebody like Mac who doesn't have that wild card, is to get as many of the players that are doubling in 33 into your team in 32 so you can maximize that bench boost. However, it's not necessarily like the best team. Like, do you want a lot of Leeds assets? Do you want a lot of Brighton assets? You can load up on City and Chelsea, but to your point, Mac, you're notably devoid of Arsenal. And I think the other big one is United. Like, do you have some of those players in that squad? Do you mix them in? Do you try to, put a Bruno and a Gabriel in there? Do you forego those guys and go like balls to the wall with it? Go triple Chelsea, bring in Palmer, like all the whole 9 yards. So I think that's kind of the what you're giving up, the con of it. But I also think ultimately deciding between whether or not to rip the wild card now has a lot to do with how much you value the bench boost and how much more valuable you think a 33 bench boost with more doublers, but maybe not better doublers, is than the 36 bench when you have less doublers, but potentially better doublers. So I think that's really the crux of it between those two prevailing strategies of like wildcard 32 or wildcard 35, is like, which bench boost do you like a lot better? I tend to think from a bench boost perspective, I like the 33 one significantly more, but I don't like the team as much that you but like are incentivized to then go with, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And so something alternative strategy, since I'm approaching this from a completely different angle, is something I've been seeing rumblings of. Is 34 that hard to navigate for a lot of folks to where you feel forced into using your free hit in 34? Because that's the plan if you're opting for this first strategy. Wildcard 32, get a ton of doublers, bench boost in 33, free hit in 34. But if you want to play a slightly more conservative bench boost and just have a couple Arsenal players, you could probably pretty easily navigate that 34 free hit for a 36 or something.
Well, I think that is the alternative. I don't even think that's the ultra alternative. I think that is the secondary strategy is the free hit 33. Then you're navigating your team, because to your point, I think
for 36.
Yeah, I think that's what the good strategy, if you had a good team that looks good right now in 32 and in 34, is okay, maximize that free hit in 33. You'll probably lose some points to people who are bench boosting, but at least you get a really good squad and get to attack that. You can, save on 32 and 34.
Bench boost 36.
Right. And is the other argument there, to your point, is is a free hit 34 team actually that stellar? Are people who are doing the 32, 33, 34 strategy going to really make a ton of gains by free hitting in that week? Is everybody looking great? But that said, part of my motivation of why I'm pretty open, but why I'm probably leaning the 32 side of things is just looking at my squad in 32 and being I hate this team. So I think in order to be able to go with that alternative strategy and save your wild card for 36, you have to be looking down at the team that you're pretty comfortable with fielding in 32. So I kind of hate it, but then I also feel when I look at other teams or some proposed wild cards I've seen for 32 where you're really maximizing, I also kind of hate that team. But that may just be a product of we're late in the season. I've been burned by a ton of players and a ton of teams, and I'm just tired of looking at them. Because now we're talking about do I bring in Semenyo, João Pedro, Bumo, players who I want them out of my team so bad. So this is the world we live in.
Yeah,
Sharp.
Sorry, just gonna say last thing. It's the constant. This debate happens every season. The two prevailing strategies are just based on: do you want to have a better week-to-week team, or do you want to attack more aggressively the highest upside week of the season? And when in doubt, take the more fun route. That's what I always say.
Sharp. Where does this put you? Where are you starting to lean? I know you've kind of been tempted by the 32 wild card, but I'm curious if you've had any other thoughts.
Yeah, I think I'm indecisive at the moment, unfortunately. So I felt pretty confident in the 32, and I think I like the Casemiro transfer, the fact I made a transfer at all, the fact that previous week I made a transfer for a goalie just for shits. Like I clearly was planning on doing 32. And now I'm looking at this and I'm like, I could have done 33. Like I could have held it off and waited and just wildcarded into that week because I think my team would have been just fine in 32. So indecisive. I think I need to look at it a little more, or like my individual team a little closer, because I'm just not sure how much that bench boost is really going to do for me in 33 right now. And I think that's the biggest issue that I'm facing, because I think I'm going to build a team even with that wild card in 32 that's going to be a hybrid. Like I'm still in my current plans, I still had Arsenal players in there because I wanted to capitalize on 34 onwards for them. 32 for them really isn't bad either. Like I know Bournemouth's up and down, but I'll still take their defense against anyone. So that City I'm worried about. So 33 is not great, but I feel like I'm going to end up in a place where I'm not attacking either side of it. I'm going to end up with this hybrid team that I'm not super excited about in any way. And that's just as you guys were talking, that's kind of where my mind went. So,
well, I think if you do the 32 through 34, we were touching on this when both you and I were kind of in that headspace before this break and before we had this clarity, right? We're talking about like the amount of transfers we have. I know you sure shit didn't roll any, but the good news is with this strategy, you roll them through your wild card. You don't roll them through the free hit, but you roll them through your wild card. And in theory, if you don't need to make any changes, you roll them through your bench boost as well. So speaking specifically about Arsenal assets, I would argue that their worst run of the remaining fixtures is 32 through 34. Bournemouth, City, Newcastle, I'm fine to fade all of those assets, right? So it kind of lends itself to, okay, you wild card now, you roll your current transfer, you roll again in 33, you don't get a roll in 34, but whatever, you maintain those transfers, then you have a lot to work with in 35, and you can bring in players like Gabriel or Rice or whoever you want. I'm not sure, Raya. Like, I think that's the other thing is like, we've seen a whole season of Arsenal so far of own goal FC. I'm not worried about their attackers. That's not, I say that, and then I guarantee to you in the next couple of weeks, somebody like Gyökeres or Saka or something is going to go nuclear, and I'm going to sound like a dumbass, but it's really the defensive assets that I think you're going against.
Well, no, I think that's so valid, but you still have to look at Rice as a top 3 total point mid. So like agreed, right? But also fuck.
And I hate to say sort of the scary fixture for every team. You'll take Sharp said I'll take Arsenal versus Bournemouth. And I was like, I'll take Arsenal versus anybody this season as an asset. Like just in terms of raw clean sheet potential, highly owned. Actually, if you really want to play the differential game and everybody wild cards out their Arsenal assets, and then you're playing the best defense in the league as a differential, not a bad position to be.
Yeah.
Totally fair. To be honest, as I was going through and putting a little wild card together, it was like, how do I fill this team? Like without Arsenal assets, I'm kind of like, who is my defense? Who am I getting here? Because like I got Van Hecker back there for Brighton. I'm not putting any Chelsea defenders back there. I had Senesi back there, so there's that. I had Gahey back there, so he's there. But Leeds, I believe Rodon has a knock right now. Burnley, I don't want anyone there ever. Maybe Dubravka if you didn't have another goalie, sure. But now, okay, I still have 2 more defenders to fill. So where am I going? Hill, we're doubling down on Bournemouth. That seems scary.
Yeah, I think we've identified some of the gaps in this model throughout the year, but I plugged it in Solio just to see what it would spit out for wildcard 32. And to your point, like the defense looks pretty horrid. It's O'Reilly, Hill, Van Heck, Senesi, and Struijk from Leeds. So yeah, you're really just leaning into the, okay, I don't care who I have back there. They play twice. That's all that matters, right? Like you're going to get double those points. You're probably trying to target players who have good DEFCON ability that are just, you're guaranteed to get a lot of baseline points. And honestly, maybe more so than ever, there's credence to that because of DEFCONs, where like a player who DEFCONs, even if they don't keep a single clean, like competing with a single Gabriel, chance of a clean sheet against one of those guys, or just ex-Arsenal defender, say Saliba, I guess, because Gabriel's a goal hound. Like comparing any one of those guys to Saliba, you're like, okay, if I know they're going to DEFCON every time, then we're basically there. It's a really small difference, in which case you're probably fine with the Arsenal assets. Anyway, that's just me being a dick and playing devil's advocate, but
No, that's so fair.
We're assessing all the strategies.
yeah. Well, so why don't we, like, because we're doing all this in theory, why don't we try to go put together a wildcard 32? Sharp, do you want to drive on this? Just because I bet your team value is better than mine. So we can get something going. But let's actually try to build it out and see if we can find something we like. I think it's also an interesting thing of merging, like, how aggressive are you getting, right? Like, how much are you leaning into just the fixtures and truly players that are doubling versus a traditional wild card, like I'm trying to set my team up for the rest of the season.
Yeah, just because historically the fixtures have dictated that you have to go as aggressive as possible doesn't mean you need to. And right. I think that's where, even if you're wildcarding this week, we'll have individual differences based on your risk profile. So Sharp would probably go as aggressive as possible. But
like Sharp's also in a he's also got a relatively decent rank where he's probably looking to defend a little more, whereas I'm like, I really don't give a fuck. I'll put triple whoever. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. How was that little backhand? Relatively decent.
Yeah, that's fair. Like it's great for me though, so I'm happy. But that's where I was saying, like, I am coming up with like a hybrid squad as I was looking at this, because I'm like scared to get away from some of these guys. Also, since I am operating on one screen, that's the tough part about driving this. You guys got to tell me if it's big enough, what's going on there, how will you see things.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a little grainy, but it's fine.
Okay, I can zoom. I'm just trying to do it where I can still see you guys. So
I just want to zoom into the screen. We don't necessarily need to see the selections.
Oh, okay.
The player selection. Yeah.
Like that. How's that looking?
It's pretty great.
Good. All right, sick. So this is the squad right now, bus squad. But like you said, we're building a wild card. So would you prefer that I just clear it out right now?
Yeah. I think. I think before you do, the only player that I was going to say you maybe keep is like off the bat. I'm curious. I feel like right now the best player in FPL is Bruno Fernandes. So I'm curious, is that somebody that you would be willing to forego if you do go the wild card strategy, or is he just kind of a must? And I guess the same logic to Gabriel. I think it's probably both of those guys where I'd be curious, like, are you willing to go away from them? Or is that something where you're like, they're just too good, I want to keep them in my team?
Yeah, I think when I'm looking at doing this the week earlier than the double game weeks, I'm keeping them in. That Bruno has leads. I feel pretty good about that. I, again, feel good about Gabriel against anyone, as Max said. So to me, I would keep them in. Personally, I think even with a bench boost, like, they feel good. Worst case scenario, you transfer Gabriel next week and bench boost and bring him back in later. So to me, they're still holds.
Okay. You're probably also keeping Haaland, right? Because you're going to have him for the double and 33 presumably.
Yeah, I don't really think there's a way that you could not build this with Haaland. Like, I think he's if you're going down this route, you kind of have to stick with him, even though, if it weren't for these doubles, I think we'd be having some real conversations of like, should we sell him and redistribute those funds?
I don't have him right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying, Mac. I think, I don't think you necessarily. Well, I guess you.
No. I didn't really touch on this, but while we're here, my plan this week is probably to bring him in. If Ekatike is having that minute scare, and I would want him for the double next week, send it a week earlier, whatever.
Yeah. I just wonder if you can, like, trying to maximize your city numbers. I wonder if you could go alternative from him.
Brother, I haven't had him for like 2 weeks, and it's been 2 most terrifying weeks of my life. I don't think I would want him as an alternative to anybody.
Fair enough.
I would also like the counter argument to that is like Semenyo.
I have him as well.
Yeah, but like one defender, like you don't need a third city.
I guess you could go goalie or something.
Defense at best.
Yeah. And I would just clarify on the Ekatike thing. I don't even know if it's minutes as much, because Isak's not going to be to the point where he's starting a game yet. I think Slot's been clear on that. It's more like he's going to get subbed off, but it's just how bad Liverpool are. And I say that to say, like, I don't think we need to look at a single player from there in this wild card. I mean, I know they don't double anyway, but I feel like they're a void. Like, I don't think you need any of them. Maybe Sobo. Other than that, no reason.
And that lends itself to wildcarding because I think all three of us are pretty well invested in Liverpool. I think we all have at least two, if not exactly
Van Dijk
two.
and Ekitike for
Yeah, I think. Do we all three have both of those guys? So it's like I'm happy to get rid of them. Like I've seen a lot of people being like, "Oh, well, Liverpool have a nice fixture in 32," and I'm like, I don't care. I mean, Ekitike could still be an option. Obviously he's playing striker on a top flight team, but they just don't attack that well at this point.
He only scores when you transfer him out. It's the only time he works. Not you specifically, but like
definitely me specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've had him for one of his hauls in my team, and I've had him in 2 separate stints.
Yeah. I've captained him quite a bit for blanks, so I think I'm pretty out. Anyway, yeah, so I think probably looking at the doubles, the best team from that group. So again, it's City, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Brighton, Leeds, Burnley is City. So I'd say we should start with maximizing.
It's fair to go right there to begin with.
Yeah,
totally agree.
I think so.
And then you said alternative City players, Luke. Is there anybody who you were thinking instead of like Holland potentially?
I think the only thing would be if you wanted to try going double defense, because we were talking about how bad the defenses are from some of these groups. Like again, you've City, Chelsea, Bournemouth, Brighton, Leeds, Burnley. I don't really trust any of them. So it's like, you could do like a Gahey and O'Reilly, or you could do Gahey and why am I tripping on their goalie's name? Starts with a D. But you could do their goalie. Yeah, you could do Donnarumma and either one of those guys. So that's something I haven't seen a lot. So I'd assume I haven't built a wild card yet. I'd assume it's a money thing. And eventually you start getting down to the point where you want to invest in attack rather than defense. But if you're taking on Arsenal defensively, I do wonder about maybe you do want like a City guy back there, because they're not a great defense, but they're still better than anything else you got.
Well, if you need 3 City guys, who is 3 from an attacking perspective? They don't have really like a consistent other player that's locked in. So you feel like you're forced into a defender from City regardless.
Agreed.
For sure. Definitely one. I mean, you could go for like a Cherky, but I don't think his minutes are.
Dude, that guy is incredible at soccer. I have been watching him these past couple weeks. This dude is amazing. City just like is a functional team, and like, normal teams will like vie after the same guy, and then he goes for a bajillion million. But then City pull out like this 30 mil guy from France every season who's just electric. He's right. I've been watching. He's crazy. Sorry, tangent.
No, I mean, I've been seeing some of the same stuff, but I'm just curious. Like, I don't
just
think there is anywhere else you can go. Marmouche, maybe.
I mean, Doku, if he's back, I know he was injured for a little while, but probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, I really do think it's just auto Semenyo, auto Holland. So that's probably why I haven't seen the double City defense, is that you're tied into those two. You're probably not going to differentiate from those two. I think the only way you would go anti-Semenyo is if you didn't think his minutes were going to be that good, but there's nothing. That hasn't been clear yet. So
Semenyo's been electric for City. So sorry, you go Sharp.
No, you're right. And I think even if you don't have faith in the output of him, the fact is that he's going to be 100% owned, and you're going to be dodging him if you do that.
100%.
Like, do you really want to do that? Because I don't.
Okay. Yep. We're all on the same page. Cool. So then it comes down to Gahey versus O'Reilly.
Do we have a little side by side on the stats or something? Not a side by side, but like pros and cons for each.
I would think that for Gahey, it's better DEFCON. This is just without actually looking at the stats. I'm trying to.
So, do we remember what game Gahey went to City? I don't quite recall.
Yeah,
it should be because he played the same team back to back. So I thought didn't he play? Wasn't it?
It was maybe like separated by a couple of days or something. I don't remember.
Maybe not.
I can't tell from the games that he was definitely at City. Though I don't actually think he's DEFCON. He hasn't DEFCON Liverpool and then Spurs before that. If Spurs took points off City to get relegated, then help Arsenal win the league, I'm going to be pissed. But I don't know. Gahey's DEFCON isn't that strong. One of the cons to Gahey, I suppose, was that we thought he would be like a heading threat like he was at Crystal Palace when he moved, and he just hasn't been at all. So I think Sharp, we both own him, and I feel like O'Reilly might just be the natural sub because I think he's cheaper, and we know he at least is definitely a City attacker.
Is he cheaper?
He's 0.1 cheaper right now, 5 to 5.1.
He doesn't def con at all. That's the only difference.
But he had a 13 and a 17 in the last 5 weeks.
Okay, I'm gonna pull him out because you guys pull him out on me. Look at that XG. He didn't deserve to have.
No, he's a defender. He's a defender.
But honestly, both of them have pretty solid. Like if you're just looking at XG, both of them have pretty solid attacking threat.
Well, so that's what I was going to say in combat to, yes, I know he hasn't put any home, but he still is a heading target on those corners. Like he's still prevalent in there and he's had chances. He's kind of like Tark when Tark was just getting headers and fucking missing the net every time. I feel like that's similar to what Gahey was at least for a few weeks there.
Yeah. Ultimately, it's because they're both defenders to Mac's point. We're really splitting hairs here of... It's unlikely that either one of them get a goal, and if they do, it's luck of the draw on which one it's going to be. I think from the only reason I would say Gahey is just because he has a better chance of defconning than O'Reilly. But, so the difference in terms of how they attack, though, is that Gahey is strictly like the set piece guy. If you're watching them in open play, he sits back heavily. O'Reilly is more versatile. He's been known to go up the wings, and Pep occasionally plays him out of position. So that's the benefit of going for someone like that, is that randomly those games where he got the scores are when he was playing left mid. So it could be that he gets deployed in that sense. So maybe that's worth the upside.
That just seems like upside then to me.
Yeah, that could be.
If they're the same price and Gahey sits back, it's back to just that time old phrase of more routes to points, right? And what's the difference between a Gahey 2 and an O'Reilly 2? But if O'Reilly has the opportunity to go up for 17, that I have Gahey, so I would love to be proven wrong. I would go O'Reilly if I was sending.
He had that when they played Arsenal in the EFL Cup, he scored twice. O'Reilly did.
Yeah.
Damn.
The only thing is minutes. I know he's been minutes inconsistent periodically. I don't know if that's still true.
This is true. Yeah, and Gahey's locked in that sense.
Yeah. So I think for everything you guys said, I get the upside. I'm calling him boomer bust out of O'Reilly. I like the steady play here, the consistent minutes.
Who the fuck are you? Since when is that?
Don't act like this is the same reason I went for Anderson. I want my 4 floor, right? Like,
that came out of nowhere.
I want a guy if I'm playing him in 2 game weeks, I think the fact that O'Reilly could boom in 1 week is going to be offset by the fact that Gabriel is 2 defcons away in 3 out of these 5 games. Like he's right there. Yeah, who did I say? I'm sorry.
Gabriel.
Yeah, that's my bad. Gahey is right there. Look at who they're playing. You have Chelsea next week. I feel really good about them attacking and City needing to have some defcons there. I feel good about take it back. I don't feel good about Arsenal attacking because they're boring as hell, but I do feel good about them having a great defense. Now, the EFL Cup point to Riley scoring twice, that hurt. That hurt my argument.
They subbed their goalkeeper. They rotated their goalkeeper out. So
okay, fair. That helps. So I guess to me, I'm going for I consider Gahey here a bit of a safer pick. I think he has possible upside on the headers. So that's where I would go. But Luke, I think you're the deciding factor here.
I mean, personally, I think I would go O'Reilly, but it's close, and I would pick. I think it's really tomato. So I like
one of City defender.
Yeah, one of City defender. Put in whoever you want there. You have Gahey, so just go ahead. I'm not going to beat my fists about that.
Okay, so totally random. We probably wouldn't bring him in for a wild card because Everton don't double. But keep in mind, Tarkowski still is the 3rd highest scoring defender. He's gone 15-0-6 in the zeros against Arsenal.
No, but okay, that is a genuine point, and again, that lends itself to the wildcard 35 because in 32 and 34 they play Brentford and West Ham. So if Sharp or I were like, hey, we're actually fuck it, I'm going wildcard 35. He's somebody who we could just transfer in with a free this week.
I mean, you could bring him in now and bench him if you really felt called, but it's probably not necessary. But in 34, they go West Ham, then City, Palace, Sunderland, Spurs.
They have a really nice end of the year. 100%.
The only thing is that the Spurs could flip if De Zerbi gets a tune out of the team, like it's another new manager for Spurs, and we have no idea how they're going to look because last time they played was 3 weeks ago under a different coach. So,
yeah,
I love that you're still holding out hope, though. That's beautiful.
We're not relegated yet, brother. What do I have left?
True.
All right, so the next best team that's doubling, I would say, is probably Chelsea. They're playing City in 32, which is the negative of like if you're wildcarding at this time, is you're bringing in those guys for that. And then they play United and Brighton in the double. Do we start with JP? Is that probably where you gotta go? I would think it is.
I mean, who else?
Yeah, because now you don't even have Enzo as an option. I don't trust Chelsea defensively, never have.
I don't think Enzo's been an option for a while. Agreeing on that.
Yeah, now he's officially. That's good.
Just in case we needed to put one last nail in that coffin.
Yeah, so I think Joe Pedro. And then, I mean, all the wild cards that I've seen have had Palmer in there, but I am curious, like...
It's going to suck if he
I'm
scores, but every time he's scored, I've been like... This is a result of luck, not bad planning on my part, because he's just never convincing. And Chelsea have been like crisis, dude. Like people are like, "Is Rossini going to last till the end of the year?" Like, or like not like over the summer, maybe is a better way of putting it. Like, it's just he eats up a ton of money.
But I think, and this is again coming from the fact that I just built a wild card, I had exactly the funds to bring him in with everyone else I wanted, because there's not a ton of guys that I feel like are hogging money right now. We've talked about that pretty consistently.
I think that's really it. It's just there's like, if not him, who else? It's not that Palmer is so good that you have to have him. It's more so that if you're sitting here and building this wild card, who else?
Well, as established earlier, the defense is cheeks in this wild card draft, so you can definitely skimp back there to save.
Right.
Like, so if you're looking for highest upside players, Palmer probably is. As a non-owner, 30% scared.
The only thing that I would say, and maybe you guys are going to say I'm insane, but is he an option right here?
No. No. Okay. I was just thinking the other day how there's always those players that just like disappear off the face of the planet from the FPL world mid-season. Like I wanted Chris Wood in their team. Or like the Forest defenders. No, nobody does. I feel like Chalobah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Chris Wood's been injured like the entire year.
Yeah, sorry. Not Chalobah, Caicedo. But, or like Milenkovic, though, or whatever the other Forest defender was from last season, who I never had.
Yeah.
So I guess.
So Palmer.
It comes down to Chelsea. We all think is a good team, and who else are we putting in?
We don't all think Chelsea's a good team, but there are a lack of better options to put in for sure.
I honestly, this is a good I don't know.
Keep in mind, like the Chelsea results over the last 5 games are 5-2 to PSG, 0-1 to Newcastle, 0-3 to PSG again, 0-3 to Everton, and then they whooped Port Vale, who plays many in League One. So it's not
who's going to come in and replace Enzo is the other question. Like who do they have in this lineup? Sorry, I hear your point though, Mac. That
they just spawn kids from out of nowhere. Nobody knows. They don't know yet. They'll just have some random guy come in.
I mean, you just got to look here, right? Like I think these are the guys that are going to matter. Like one of those guys, I think, is going to go off or be very central to their team.
If you can't afford
Esavao, maybe.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I totally interrupted. If you can't afford Palmer, though, like the Sharp, you probably have the most budget because he ranks so well. Is Neto an option? You know, he's not that far behind Enzo, and I feel like his form has been decent.
That's what I was just looking at. It hasn't been.
It hasn't been?
Well, I guess, okay, I should take it back. I didn't look at the minutes. Was he injured? Was he sitting here? What happened? Leeds, he was only
just sitting.
26.
I do not know.
I don't.
He's just sitting.
He got -1 against Arsenal. I hear you. I want to find someone here, but I don't know who to find.
Yeah, no, it's fair. The only reason I'm pushing back kind of heavily against the Chelsea assets in general is just because it's like City, United, Brighton. Is that the best run and then into a blank, which you'll presumably navigate with a free hit? I almost see the time to get the Chelsea assets is in 35 when they do Forest, Liverpool, Spurs, Sunderland.
Dude, I hear you. I think for me, João Pedro is a must. After that, I'm not super concerned. And I'm looking at the better fixtures of Brighton, having Tottenham. Yeah, Chelsea, like we said, they're an upper team, but that's a good double with Burnley next week. And then you have Bournemouth, who, you're not going to play next week against Arsenal necessarily, but then they have Newcastle and Leeds, where I feel a little more confident in them in a double. And you have some standout players looking at Senesi, looking at a possibility across their midfield of a cheap option in either Ryan, Tavernier, or Scott, I think have all been pretty decent. So
let's send in the Palmer shout. I agree with your logic on the whole. Just
also those.
So hold
I
him
did just
now.
look those 2 games for Neto. He was suspended.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
So those weren't just drops.
And I mean, that's a solid point total, but I mean, Palmer was injured for so much of it too. Okay, moving on.
Well, it was a good discussion. Would you hold on to your Chelsea assets then, presumably, if you wildcarded just for the rest of the season, probably? Like, as guys you don't have to transfer?
I think so, unless you need to use them somewhere, right?
Right, unless you need those funds for someone. Okay.
Yeah.
Where do we go now? Do you just want to lock in that third forward? I feel like there's a couple options there. That's
like
probably one of the more expensive places to go.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think easy to narrow it down, but I think there's like one option here. I know there's probably 2, but it's the guy you already. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Welbeck, but I mean, there's definitely an argument to be made for Calvert-Lewin as well.
The other one I was going to ask about.
100%. Yeah, I was going to flash him just for the love of the game. I mean, obviously.
I mean, it's a fantastic fixture run. They play a combination of games at home or away, which I will not assign.
I feel like when you talk about Chris Wood, though, he's the Chris Wood. He's like the guy. Wood. Yeah, he's the guy who went from hero to zero. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. I'm just laughing at Mac acknowledging he has no idea where these fixtures are played.
No. So who's profiling on DCL? So they're playing Wolves at home, and then they're playing Bournemouth away.
Well done.
Nice work.
It took him 6 FPL seasons.
Wait, can you show me the history there, Sharp? I just want to see how much has he cooled off. Because I know he's cooled off.
It was like that run of 6 and 6 games, right?
But it was so far back there. Like, we're still holding on to Gameweek 18.
Like 15. Yeah. But I mean, like, if you're looking at runs on paper for a rotational striker, that's probably one of the best
crazy.
Runs.
No, yeah, for sure.
Sorry, not this. I'm talking about future fixtures. That is a good run, though.
Because Welbeck has shown relatively consistently throughout the season that he'll boom. It's like he didn't have that stretch that DCL did, but he has throughout the season just like done the goals.
I mean, I can't tell if I want you guys to not get Welbeck to give me a better differential.
For sure, you do.
Or if that's worse, because then if DCL pops off and everyone has him, I get screwed. So Welbeck, I agree, is the better shout, though. I mean, they have the double. They blank. They still play Wolves. It's pretty solid.
Yeah,
and they actually play Leeds away, where Leeds are really bad away.
Even if you're not looking at the far run of it, which I guess you should be, I think you're looking at this next 3 just right here.
Delicious.
It's nice. I like that.
Just delicious. Playing Tottenham.
Well, I mean, think about the grudge match. It's Zerbi used to coach Brighton. So
there you go. Oh my God, I forgot they got to Zerbi.
Yeah. Where were you?
We were talking about this. I just forgot that.
That's literally the only thing you contributed over this international break to the chat was the Zerbi.
I told you I was taking a proper detox.
Detoxing us too.
Okay, so the other thing is then we're just talking about Brighton in general. I'm so uninspired by that team on the whole. Trying to genuinely just sort them by total points. So yeah, sure, go Van Heck. That's fine because we need to build a defense with relatively reliable players. Now show me another attacker, if any. Are there other options in attack?
No.
I just, as a general rule of thumb, never feel like you have to go for 3 budget guys on any team. On a team that's going to be boom or bust, I never feel this is where I would opt for a diversification strategy more than anything. And to your point, as Sharp was about to get to, I don't see a ton of options. Mitoma did just score for Japan, but that has nothing to do with the Premier League. So who knows? I'm not a Brighton fan. I can't tell you if the styles are similar.
They did just play England. This is kind of the Prem.
He scored against England. That's right.
That is the closest I can get. Yeah. But no, I agree with you guys. I think if you want to, you go Van Heck after that. Actually, I take it back. I forgot about this. My boy.
Get the bug. You're ringing back in the bug. Is this not just going to force you into a goalie transfer later?
I would hold him forever. So
that's actually an interesting question, because are you going to opt for the double cheap goalie strategy on your wild card again, or are you going to hold a Raya, for instance?
I think as we see how this comes out, we'll see. I think
what are we looking? Sorry, interrupted again. What are we looking at per budget? 26.8. Okay, continue.
So with Palmer, I think I don't go Raya. Without Palmer, if I go literally anyone else, I could have Raya in
100%.
that goalie. So we'll see how this pans out, because the only other option, I guess, is to go for 2 that bench, like you would bench boost. So you have 2 that double in 33. And since he's one of them that I feel confident in, confident being a loose word, but he would be one of them. The other one, I had Petrovic in here, I think, from Bournemouth earlier as another just doubled option, but like another cheap goalie.
Mm-hmm. Okay, solid. Luke, do you have any thoughts on the goalies?
I'm good with the bug. I don't
All
know
right.
about the second one. We'll get there when we get there, I suppose.
The least important spot to assign.
Agreed. If we feel like we want to move him later, I have no qualms.
Sorry, my reason for saying that is going through the rest of the season, Brighton have the second best fixtures out of any team. So as much as like they're not an optimal team, we were talking about earlier how much parity there is in the Prem, and I feel like any team outside of Arsenal is just as likely to get it clean as the next or close to it. So, you know, you'll live and die with the bug, and it'll be good and bad on certain days, but it'll in the end probably even out is kind of where I'm at.
Do you guys see kind of like why I'm saying I'm in between on where I'm going right now? Because so far what we've done is maintain a lot of the team that I currently have. Like I've restored a decent amount of players on the squad. I think Semenyo, I don't think any of us feel super confident in Palmer. Like those are the 2 right now.
One thing that I don't know if I'm going to do in mine is I don't know if I would keep Gabriel. I don't know if like the Bournemouth fixture is necessarily worth, like it's only like not worth it if he has an attacking return. And I, as much as amazing as Gabriel is, I could bet against him getting 1 week of an attacking return in favor for somebody else. But I just mean that more in the money sense. So that's why like, let's go down this path. And it's more so if we need the funds to get to somebody else, then we can switch them out.
Like, great point. Like, who are we even putting in the midfield though? Like, I'm starting to get thin on guys to think about.
Okay. Oh yeah, we already did Palmer. Damn.
Yeah.
We have 30 mil for 5 guys, so we could average 6.
No. We have 27.
Okay, round up.
Yeah. To me, this is the team that I look at next as a combo of good players and fixtures.
For sure. Do they double in 33 as well?
Yeah.
They do. They play City, right?
Yeah, I mean, so tough double. Don't get me wrong, but still a double. And I know you said mid. Obviously, I'm looking defense first. I think this goes back to your price, but it's Senesi or Hill. You need at least one.
Easy answer. Senesi or Hill. Probably Senesi, the premium option. If budget's not a problem, Hill
maybe
is the enabler.
both. Maybe both. Like,
could go.
I think that's probably the play, because looking at just talking about doubling guys, like I'll take both of them. They both DEFCON pretty well at this point. They've both shown attacking threat. Like Senesi is always good for the rogue assist, and Hill is shown to just kind of be a dog when he doesn't score an own goal. I'm like good with both, but honestly,
it's not bad. They play basketball, and then like they're not great fixtures after the blank, and then it's Palace, Fulham, City, Forest. They're actually not bad fixtures. I kind of see the upside there.
It's tough this week is the big problem, but I think once you get past this week, it's like they have the double, one of which is Newcastle, which is tough, but like Leeds, Palace, Fulham, City, Forest, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was convincing myself I was wrong as I was saying it.
One non-doubler that I'm looking at right now, just with regards to fixtures over the next few, are we sleeping on Jared Bowen?
Yes.
No.
Interesting. Continue.
You for sure.
Maybe Max cheering or concerned about West Ham because of what they could do to Tottenham, but like, are we really scared of West Ham in general? They just looked super defeated in the FA Cup game they played, or whatever game that was. Like, they looked like a team that didn't want to be on the pitch. So I don't really foresee that changing. I don't know.
Mac is just in the perspective now where he's so bogged down. He's like so negative on Spurs that he thinks West Ham are like a super team all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's probably closer to the truth on my perspective on Bowen, to be fair.
I would also say, if you just based on the team that we currently have with Gabriel and Bruno, if you have him, why are you bench boosting? Like, now you got 3 guys on the bench that are solo.
For sure. I mean, this is a lot of variables at play. I'm not as convinced on João Pedro against Manchester City as you seem to be, and I understand that you're picking him up for the upside next week, right?
Yeah.
Alternatively, Jared Bowen plays Wolves this week. That's the main argument for. I don't really think there's a world where you would bring him in this week and bring him out. You certainly can't do that probably if you're – I mean, you could wildcard into him, but you're probably not going to want to make a transfer next week if you just wildcarded.
Right.
So are we sleeping on him? Potentially. Is there a ton of downside for doing so? Probably not. He's not highly owned either. Is my thinking.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't get him over a Welbeck or a
Fair enough.
Pedro, to be honest.
Good thought exercise. In the midfield, I think we could go Tav. I'm not inspired by him, but he's kind of someone I would think of as like your Anderson style. Like he's going to get you consistent points, and he's not exciting. But
probably the big question, always the question with Bournemouth. But do we know who's on pens right now?
I think it's him.
Is it Tav? Because it's.
I'm not sure of that. No. I don't actually know if they've had a pen since Semenyo left. I might be wrong on that, but I feel like we don't know the answer.
It's interesting to see that Scott is there 1 point behind him, but Tav has been injured a lot. Scott's just kind of chugging away on 2 and 3 pointers.
Yeah, and I brought Ryan up just because when they transferred for him, he had a few pretty solid games there. Yeah, right? Like those first 3, but I mean, to that point, he's been 2s and 3s since then.
No, it was writing was on the wall with that one. Not saying he's not a good player, but I'm not terribly surprised by that. That being said, if you got the hot streak, amazing.
Yeah. But I mean, this is your budget guy as far as I'm concerned, right? Mm-hmm. Like in your midfield, and I think you're most likely gonna get a blanks. So maybe this is do you just have more faith in Tavernier? Do you have more faith in someone else? But if he's on pins, like that's certainly differential.
I don't know that it's clear that he is the thing. Like I don't think it's clear from a Bournemouth. I genuinely think they haven't gotten one since Semenyo left. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think that's super clear yet.
The other thing is you just put him in for now because we still have another midfield spot to fill somehow.
And he doesn't DEFCON that well either, so it's not like, yeah, he's fine. This is what I'm saying. Like with regards to this wild card, it's not inspiring.
I know. No, I feel
yeah, like if we want to talk about filling this next spot, like really where are we going? Because the guy who I'm looking at potentially, not seriously, is Rodgers, just from like a fixture standpoint.
Yeah, they have solid fixtures.
Then you're looking at Wilson, fine. Terrible fixtures though.
I think Anderson is your
solid.
spot.
He's got bad fixtures, but hopefully that increases the DEFCON chance, which is what you want him.
Not really. I mean,
Burnley's good. Sunderland's
Villa,
decent, but
Burnley, Sunderland,
Chelsea, Newcastle, United, Bournemouth.
Yeah, fair.
Not fantastic, but hopefully chances.
Is it this Leeds? Fuck Leeds. That's the problem right now, honestly. Because as the other double team, it would be great if I could plug him in and not be worried about it. Is it? Do you have fun here? Oh God, that's
no.
That's so bad.
Is Aronson a mid?
Yeah,
he is. He's listed as a mid. Okay.
God, that's.
Wait, what's good with Minte? Was he injured?
He was never.
He went to AFCON, didn't he?
Went to AFCON, but no. Recently, he hasn't been playing all that much, and then his minutes have started ramping up. Like I haven't kept up with him at all. But is it like? I don't know.
He was,
and you don't want Matoma. Like you just
leg in December. It caused him to miss time. You had report availability returning mid-January, but we're in April now. When was January?
3 months ago.
Well, thank you. Where is that? Where's the pictures? Genius over here.
When did they play Arsenal?
They played Arsenal 2 weeks ago. Game week 29. 2 game weeks ago. He played 45 minutes in game week 29 and then 75 and 30 and 75 and 31.
I love that you can read. This guy is not illiterate. That's amazing.
Well, he might be based on that rank.
If you turn the numbers around, it spells boobies.
All right.
It's just the calculator, turn it upside down.
We're devolving.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I feel like we have to go with like another. I feel like we have to go with another Brighton mid, and I don't want to.
We can't. We have 3 Brighton guys.
Yeah, we got Verboten.
Oh, you're right. Okay. So then, what the fuck do we do?
Chelsea.
Who do we get?
No, we already have Palmer. Oh.
No, but we do need the third Chelsea. So yeah, let's do fucking Neto.
This was my argument to covering the Arsenal assets. Like, why not?
I know, but then we're already
Like-
at 2 guys that don't. So why are we bench boosting?
Right.
Why are we wild carding?
Right.
Because your bench boost doesn't have to be the craziest chip. If they all play, it's a floor of 8 points.
It's true. Like, it's still a good bench boost if the single game week player outscores the double game week player. That's all that really matters.
If
Like-
Sharp, if I think about how many ranks I would have gained on you if I scored 8 more points than you this week. Like,
Thank God
you know,
you
it's
didn't.
all right.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's run through the best game week 33 players that don't double.
Can we pull up that grid maybe.
Yeah,
go
Back
for-
on one again.
Anderson is him. You play Burnley for Forest. Sorry, yeah, there you go.
There we go. So
I mean, Forest play Burnley, Villa play
Villa.
Sunderland,
Palace.
Palace play West Ham.
Arsenal, just because they're good.
I mean, they play City.
They play City.
But yeah, you
Oh,
could get a
sorry,
Rice. I just don't
33.
like. I feel like the time has passed on Rice. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a vibes
No.
thing more than anything. But it's just me being like, yes, he's a relatively or a very consistent player, but I don't know. If we're talking about 1 week, who's going to do well in that week, I'm not going to pick Rice.
Would you go Spurs assets if they showed random form this week?
No,
Because then you could hold them and then play them against Wolves and potentially
No,
navigate that 34
I
better.
don't.
Mac, I love you so
love
dearly,
it.
but absolutely not.
I didn't say I was going
wouldn't touch them
there.
with
I'm
they have the
tossing a
cheese
theoretical question. I didn't say I was going there.
All right, because he has that. Liverpool have Everton. Do you put Sobo in there?
No,
He's
same thing, same
disrespectful.
argument as I have with Rice, where it's like if we're talking about an explosive player to forego a doubler, I'll take a doubler over Sobo.
Dude, there's no
Yeah.
explosive players in the league this year besides like Semenyo. It's so
It's true.
annoying.
True.
That's why we're in this mess.
Who does? Wait,
What
Sar
about,
off Palace?
I was gonna say, what about Sar? The problem
But-
is they play Newcastle this week, but
I mean, and that's where I go back. Like, I would just pull Anderson in and let him play Villa and let him play Burnley and take.
I'm
my
not opposed
bottom.
to it. I'm not opposed to it.
No,
I honestly
I
think
have-
that's a good pick.
I
Maybe
have
we
them
rock,
on my
rock with
team and
that.
I'm happy with that.
And this is where I go back to again. Like, do I need a wild card? I don't know.
Yeah.
The free hit in 33 just looks like a stronger and stronger play for me because I
It
don't
does.
lock myself into this not convincing team. Like I have smatterings of all these players, but I'm not locking myself into 2 Bournemouth players and 2 Brighton players, and
Right.
you know I keep my Arsenal assets. Like I
But
don't
the
know.
thing, I agree with you. And if I were in your position, I'd be feeling very good right now. Don't get
I'm
me
not
wrong.
feeling very
like,
good.
Oh well, okay. But to me, I'm like, right now, I'm seeing this is probably going to need to be a transfer. This is probably going to need to be a transfer. I don't know, but then I'm still like, I still don't want necessarily a lot of people outside of this. Like, I'm okay with this even for
Yeah.
a long period of time.
Well,
I
mean,
think
that's-
I think that's what it is. Like what I said earlier about hating all the players that are out there. It's like,
Yeah.
who do you want? Like if
who else?
pretend the doubles weren't happening and we were wild carding right now, Sharp. Like who would you want? Who is like your outside of Bruno Fernandes? Genuinely, who else are you like? Oh, you got to have that guy. Like I think
mean-
the big ups for this team is getting in Semenyo and João Pedro, which I don't know. I don't remember. Did you already have them? But like
I had
That
João
actually
Pedro,
is
I
the
did
only
not have
two.
Semenyo.
yeah,
For me, it's Welbeck and Semenyo. It's like same logic, but yeah.
I also think you need to think about it not in terms of who you're gaining, but who you're getting rid of. People you don't have that I have a decent amount
this
of.
is true.
Brentford
This is true.
players. You guys are getting out of them. I have Mbumo. I have Ekatike. You guys can get out of both of those guys. I
This
have
is true.
Alderete, who you guys don't need to worry about. So you're setting up your team for like good fixtures for kind of the rest of the season, and just to attack the upside on those free transfers you do have.
This
Is
is
the
my
thing.
problem though. I don't have those players to begin with.
Yeah, see, and this is where this whole thing is obviously, as always, team dependent. But like,
Yeah,
this
like
is
I need
why
to get out
I've
of Casemiro and Van Dijk and Ekitike for sure, but that's
Probably
three
your-
players.
Well, you probably don't want Liverpool. They're not doubling.
That's what I said. Ekitike, Van Dijk, and Casemiro.
Oh,
Those
you
are the
did
three
just say
players.
that. Yep.
Yeah.
What about Rodgers?
yeah,
Still
Sharp.
keeping him?
You could rock with this. Having Verbruggen already is kind of hilarious. Like you could rock with this, but you only have one transfer, right?
Yeah, of course. That's the problem.
So yeah,
Which
Sharp,
means I could get two of them out, right? But before the double. But I would also just free hit in the double. So it doesn't fucking matter.
I
Like,
just-
you'll
Yeah,
have a
but-
good
Yeah.
but you also then have to navigate so here's part of the problem. In order for you to do this strategy, you needed to bank a lot of transfers because then you also have to navigate blank game week 34. That's part of your problem.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
you have to navigate this week getting like a serviceable team going forward, which Ekitike and Van Dijk, let's be clear, like this week would be fine. They're playing Fulham. That's fine. That's not a fire sale as much as they're annoying to have.
Yeah.
It
I
would
just
be,
said it's
can you
annoying.
get in enough doublers for next week? And can you cover off, or no, it would be free hit next week. Never mind. So
Right.
it's really just, can you cover off this team in 34, which you just simply don't have the transfers
Well,
for. So you'd have to
look,
take hits.
So
But-
just speaking on my team for a second, what is nice and the reason that free at 33 is a play for me is because I can navigate 34 by just transferring out one City player and potentially Senesi if I deem him unnecessary. So 2 transfers is all I need to make to navigate 34.
Yeah.
Without free hitting. It's not horribly impossible to do.
Just
But
because
then-
you can put those guys on your bench is what you're saying?
Yeah, just put them on my bench.
City, Bournemouth. Yeah. Sharp, honestly, maybe the strategy that makes the most sense for you is the wild card 33. I wonder if that tracks more for you. Yes, you give up that upside of that bench boost, but you get the doublers you need in that week.
But if you're getting a wild card, why not just bench boost? Like, why
Sure.
not just rip it
Sure.
and have,
I know.
it doesn't matter whether you're convinced about it or not. You're playing highest upside.
And I would have a full team to cover 34. That's what I was just looking at in playing FPL if I didn't. So like 34 is also not a concern for me, which just lends itself to also why am I doing this?
Wait,
Yeah,
so
but-
you're saying that your team now looks good in 34?
It doesn't look. I'm not gonna say. I mean, I have to look closer to say it's good, but like I have play. Like I will field a full team.
Then, dude, you're probably in the position where this wildcard 35 thing makes sense. I think because of what Max said, like all the players that he listed in his team, I have in my team. So I think I am starting to lean towards the 32, although admittedly I'm looking at this and I want to throw up, but I just don't think I have enough. I don't know. I guess I have a couple transfers, so I can look through that, but I think I have to lean more this way, but you have enough of those differential guys that you actually might be able to get away with it.
All right. Well, let's round out this wild card real quickly then. Just see what we're
Yeah.
finishing with. How much budget do we have, Sharp?
We have
10.
11 million for two
Okay.
players.
So we need a backup defender. Who were you rattling off, Luke, as possible wild card defenders earlier?
Oh, I mean, I would just I suppose you just put like a Leeds guy at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
unless you want
just
to
no.
double,
Yeah, do a fucking Hill.
like Strook.
Do
You could
Hill.
bring in Hill.
Yeah, I like Hill.
I don't know. I would go for a Leeds guy over a double inconsistent Bournemouth. Just
You think Leeds are better? I don't think Leeds are better
But-
defensively than Bournemouth.
I think in a double you're optimizing your chance because the thing is Senesi and Hill are going to go down together. Like one goal will knock out 2 points worth of players, and Strook's playing
Sure.
Wolves.
Yeah, but the flip side of it is if they do clean, then you get double the points. Like I think you can make that argument
That
either
is
way.
how math works. Yes, that's just how I would handle that situation. You don't have to listen. Do you want to just toss in Raya Sharp, or like are you going to go get for like a doubling goalkeeper?
This is
Yeah,
crazy that we
would
can't
that be?
spend all the budget.
It's either to me. It's here. I'll just go over here. Sorry. To me, it's either Raya or someone like Petrovic for like someone that's doubling just for the hell of it.
Yeah, well then if you're going to go Petrovic, I certainly wouldn't go double Bournemouth defense. So maybe that
Correct,
makes your decision
correct.
depending on how you want to
Yeah.
play that one.
You also, yeah.
Um,
Well,
you could go
because-
Donnarumma if you didn't want to get a Gahey, but then you have another headache.
For some
I'm not-
reason, when you just said Donnarumma, I heard gonorrhea.
Oh,
that. Oh,
I don't
Good
know.
for you.
On the
Continue,
mind.
continue. Keep
Checked
going,
out.
don't worry.
Yeah, you okay?
Little itchy.
I mean,
Hear what I want to hear, I suppose. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Who do you? I don't. I'm so uninspired.
Just
by
drop
all
in
of
Raya.
this.
Just drop in Raya. Chances are most people will not have the budget you have. Like, I'm not sure I could put this team together.
I
right
was
now.
gonna say, I bet you I will not be able to build this team.
So I'm not
I
sure
still
that.
have 0.6 left in the bank. Like,
Look
okay,
at me, I'm
sorry.
120K.
But
Sorry, that
like,
was so low.
no, that's fair. And yeah, I'm looking at. Okay, sorry. I'm still looking at the game week 34. I don't know if maybe I'm not wild carding. This is stupid.
Well-
Why did I transfer my last 2 transfers? I'm having a mental breakdown. All right.
Wildcard week. This is where I just get to sit here and like vibe. not worry
I don't
about-
know where I've landed yet either, Sharp. But like, okay, now that we've actually built that out, this is where we want to round out the conversation, right? It's
Yeah.
like, so can you field the team in 32 and 34 that make you think, okay, I can just wait till 35 to do this wild card? Obviously, the negative on that is you're giving up the bench boost points that you're getting from the wild card we just showed. But to your point, like, I don't think this is necessarily as negative a thing as you're thinking in your head. But like wild carding with 3 single game week players, or sorry, bench boosting with 3 single game week players on your bench, I don't see a problem in that, because it's really not about like how many doublers you can get in. It's, can I get the best, 15 guys in that given week? It doesn't matter whether they're doubling or not. It's just like, who are the biggest point scorers in that week? So I think that part of it's fine. Like having Gabrielle on your bench as a bench booster, fine. I don't see a problem with that. Having Riot, like if you're sitting here with the wild card that we just put together, you have double Arsenal defense. That's excellent. And not only that, it keeps you from what we were talking about, the transfers in 35 to get those Arsenal guys back. You don't have to. So yeah, I think that's fine. I would rather, well, I don't know if I would rather. I was going to say, I think I would rather do Raya than the Leeds goalie in 33. But I guess maybe that's stupid. Maybe that's stupid.
It's not horribly stupid. I mean, they're playing City, but whatever. Last thing I think to round out this point is presumably if you're wild carding in 35, you're bench boosting in 33, right?
No, you'd be bench boosting in 36.
Okay, so if you bench boost in 36, you cannot triple captain Holland in 36.
None of us have triple captain.
I bet a lot of smarter people do still. So that is the last point of consideration, is just that it's a better triple captain opportunity, probably.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, I feel like we've got to just crunch some numbers now. There's not much more to say, right? Like, it's going to be so team dependent, and none of us have those answers.
I hate that. Like, I'm glad that Sharp, you're feeling the same way I am, because this is how I've been feeling all day, is that every time I've listened to the pitch for a given strategy, I've been like, ooh, don't like that one. Ooh, don't like that one. And it's just like none of them. I feel like in the past, when we've had this kind of like template strategy with doubles and blanks, there's been an alternative that feels kind of sexy. And it's like, now the alternatives don't even feel sexy. It just feels shit all around. Like, your alternative strategy is this bench boost 36 where it's just City and Palace. Like that also sucks. So,
Chips fell nicely for me there.
yeah, 100%. All right. That rounds it out. Gents, we will catch you next week. Keep in touch with our Twitter account to see where we land on this stuff.
We'll tweet out.
Yeah, we'll tweet out what our teams end up being. I tell you what, this is giving me the juices back. We're back, baby. We're back in the FPL mindset.
You're muted, raging and muted.
Raging
It
and
looked
muted.
intense though.
That's so. I said you took all my juice. You took it all because now.
You're blaming me?
No, it's not. Yeah, I'm saying because you only because you're excited now that you must have taken it from me because I'm so depleted after this conversation that I'm like, why did I do the stupid shit that I did the last couple of weeks? Which, whatever, it's fine. I'll move on. It'll be great.
I mean, let's be real. Who
Pull
told
that
you?
back up.
Oh, sorry.
I had the
Who told you weeks ago? I remember saying this in like 28 or something. I was like, Sharp, you should really start rolling your transfers. And you were like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring in Casemiro instead.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring in Casemiro as a 1 week punt. And I was like, I mean,
actually,
maybe don't do
that's
that.
the only thing I regret because Kelleher gave me 9 points last week. I can't be mad about that transfer. That was a good transfer.
Did you? Oh, you transferred him in. Nice.
I did bring.
So last thing I'll say, a little bit of charge for inspiration, Luke, is like look at year 24. It mirrored mine, and I used my wild card, and you didn't. So there's a possibility that you like continue to just start dropping like on this wild card. The season's not over yet.
Season's over. I'm just trying to stay under 1 million. Season's over. I appreciate it. I do.
I can't wait till next season when Luke's in a good mood. I haven't seen it since week 6.
Can you blame me? Look at this graph. Can you blame me? Like,
brother, I was higher than you for 70% of the season.
I think he was still excited in 13. Look at that big jump.
Yeah.
No, I was excited when I got that wild card. I was like, we're back, baby. I was like actually still invested where I was like, we have a little bit of a shot in like 26. And then things just started to go really poorly. It may have been 29 that I really was like, fuck this. I don't remember which. It was one of those weeks where I got a red that I was like, I'm actually kind of done. It was when João Pedro scored 3. Whatever that week was is when all the fun got zapped out of me for the season.
That was 29 because that's the last time I was sub 100.
So there you go. That tracks. The last 3 weeks have been like depression level. How do I get my, get to the mic at the podcast? But yeah, we'll finish this one out strong this season. I mean, we'll try our best, but season's done. Moving on to next season. Moving on to 27.
Give it the old college try.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll catch you guys next time. This has been the 3 Wanks FPL podcast.
Peace.